here on the Jerry Doyle Show. JD, good to have you on board. Hope you had a great weekend. Your 6'3" ATM of Informacion loaded up, ready to be accessed. The PIN, 800-876-4123 on the program where intellectual consistency is encouraged and nurtured for now and always. Jesse producing, Don producing, and working the dials. Neil's helping us out on the calls today. And the poll question up there for you today at the website, jerrydoyle.com. A Times CBS poll states nearly half of Iowa Republicans said it's more important to pick a nominee who can beat Obama than to have one who agrees with them on the issues. Newt has a 23-point lead over Romney. So do you agree or disagree with that statement? Not about the point spread, but about who you're going to pick. 13% say you agree. More important to pick someone who can beat Obama than to pick someone who agrees with you on the issues. 20% disagree. And 67%, why not both? It's kind of like that scene in Trading Places at the end. Remember when they were sitting on the beach and Dan Aykroyd's character was out on the yacht? And the guy comes up, the little helper that was helping, what was the guy's name who was the butler in Trading Places? Don't you remember? The English guy. What is his name? Apparently, it was a great weekend. I can't remember one of my favorite movies. Jerry. It was like Coswald of Worthington. What was the guy's name? He was the butler, the handler.
I don't remember Trading Places.
Coleman. That was his name, Coleman. And Coleman finally has a guy that's waiting on him. And he comes up at the end and says, should we have the lobster or the cracked crab? And he said, why not both? Excellent answer, sir. And the guy runs off to get the cracked crab and the lobster. But now, here's what's thrown to the Republicans. Well, do you want somebody who can beat Obama, or do you want someone who agrees with you on the issues? Why not both? Why not? Why do you have to have either or? Why not both? Is that too demanding? Is that asking too much? Is that asking for something that's unattainable, unachievable in today's age where you can't find somebody that can beat Obama who happens to agree on the issues? This was in the Associated Press writing over the weekend. Newt Gingrich's rise to presidential polls has left veteran Republicans scratching their heads. They're trying to figure out why the former House Speaker is supported by GOP voters who think he is not particularly honest, doesn't share their values, puzzled that Iowa evangelical Christians are flocking to a man who was unfaithful to two wives, paid $300,000 in South Essex fines, and converted to Roman Catholicism. Gingrich's record of earning millions of dollars in government influence business after 20 years in Congress seems to upend the notion that this election cycle is driven by Tea Partiers' hostility to Washington insiders. They're offering theories with varying degrees of confidence that their theories on why Gingrich has floated to the top of the punch bowl. One school of thought says Gingrich articulates conservative positions so forcefully that he attracts hard-right voters willing to overlook his record of inconsistencies and foibles. That's called selling out. Because he can articulate it better than others, we're going to look past the whole wives and the whole 300,000 fine. And look past it. Why? Because he says it good. Oh, okay. That makes sense. Another theory suggests that Republicans don't know much about Gingrich, whose greatest political triumph was 17 years ago before he became a grandfather at 68, and now he's chastened. Supposedly at 55, he was just a newbie who was allowed to make mistakes because he was a Ute. Voters may be unaware of his repeated clashes with fellow Republicans. His 1995 complaint about seated in the back of Air Force One. Do you know that in 1995, Newt Gingrich admitted that he shut the government down because he didn't like how he was treated on Air Force One? That's the guy? That's the guy that you think is the turd that should float to the top of the punch bowl? All you have to do is a little homework, and I know you guys are busy, so we do it for you here on the program. For those of you who are watching at home, Here's the article. I pulled it. November 1995, the Seattle Times. President Clinton said today that he was sorry and surprised if House Speaker Newt Gingrich took offense at the way he had been treated on Air Force One. Gingrich complained yesterday that in 24 hours of flying to and from the Jerusalem funeral of slain Israeli Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin, Clinton failed to discuss their budget differences and made Gingrich and Senate Majority Leader Bob Dole sit in the back of the plane and leave by the rear exit. The speaker said his personal pique helped prompt the shutdown of the federal government. I had to sit in the back. What is he, the Rosa Parks of the Republican Party? The alleged snub, the Georgia Republican told reporters, was, quote, part of why you ended up with us sending down a tougher continuing resolution, the stopgap spending bill that Clinton vetoed, leading to the shutdown of the government. Gingrich said this, it's petty, but I think it's human.
Wow.
He shut the government down. Hey, dude, guess what? You were on Air Force One. You're on the plane. You're a player. They asked you to fly over to Israel for the funeral. You were with the Senate Majority Leader, Bob Dole. But what, you didn't get to sit in the big guy's chair? You didn't get to wear the jacket? It says that you were the... I had to sit in the back of the plane. There's not a bad seat.
Maybe they put him in with the cargo.
Yeah.
Or the bathroom.
He was down below with the bastard hounds. White House Chief of Staff Leon Panetta said, I had conversations with both the speaker and the leader, and not once did either of them say, let's go in the back, let's sit down and try and cut a deal. Frankly, it would have been inappropriate. Everybody knew the trip was about the funeral of Yitzhak Rabin. And even if they were the case, why would you want to shut down the government? Well, because I didn't get to sit in the front and put on my propeller cap and play president. Why didn't they just let you fly the plane? I mean, really? Come on, Newt, you're all that. I had to sit in the back. Clinton said he made a point of visiting with Gingrich and Dole before Air Force One landed to say goodbye and to thank them for accompanying him. The White House released a picture of all three of them together. Must have been in the back of the plane.
Oh, neat.
NBC News videotape shows Gingrich and Dole disembarking at Tel Aviv just behind Clinton via the front stairway. Gingrich's explanation? Clinton staged an exhibition of U.S. bipartisan unity for Israeli TV, and then reverted to the cold shoulder treatment flying home.
Needy,
yep,
needy,
that's
needy.
Presidential. I'm going to take my ball and go home because you wouldn't make me the quarterback. Representative Patricia Schroeder, Democrat of Colorado, in the House, waved a statuette she said was an Oscar for Gingrich's performance as a child actor who was shutting down the whole country because of his little peeve. Oh, never mind. I'll let that go. She asked... I would have bet he has a little peeve. Could we get a performance that's more statesmanship, he asked. Even some GOP comrades are advising Gingrich to calm down. He's been a little out of tune, said Chris Shays, the Republican from Connecticut, who suggested Gingrich get more sleep. When he becomes tired and angry, the messenger obscures the message. That's not to our advantage. Can't you see Newt Gingrich in a giant, oversized bassinet with one of those little rattles in his hand, little GOP rattle? It was the time to change Newtie's little diaper. Oh, yeah! I didn't get to sit in the front of the plane.
Just give him some wings. He'll shut up.
Yeah, here's your wings, Nudie. Thank you. The Times CBS poll asked Iowa Republicans to name the candidate best represents the values you try to live by. Bachmann, Ron Paul, and Mitt Romney were bunched near the top. No one was chosen by more than 19%. Gingrich finished fourth at 11%. Washington Post ABC News poll found only 13% of likely Iowa caucus goers see Gingrich as the most trustworthy. In the Times CBS poll, nearly half of Iowa Republicans said it's more important to pick a nominee who can beat Obama than to have one who agrees with them on the issues. Most polls show Obama faring better against Gingrich than against Romney. The findings puzzle some GOP insiders, outsiders, left-siders, right-siders, and everybody in between. The fact that these people out there who have managed to be the ballast that has risen this political turd to the surface of the Republican punch bowl and will put aside the fact that the guy shut down the government in 1995. I'm not making it up. Seattle Times. Look at it yourself. I can't see the print. It's really small. But it says Thursday, November, it's either the 16th or the 18th, 1995. Gingrich, snub caused impasse. Treatment on Air Force One blamed. And even Gingrich, in his own words, who shut the government down because he didn't like the seating assignment on Air Force One, said it's petty, but I think it's human.
The Jerry Doyle Show.
To err is human. To forgive is divine. I ain't divine. And that can't be forgiven. And he is just a pompous ass, deserving of a debate with Donald Trump. Now, here's a note to the other GOPers who are taking him on. As brought up by Representative Christopher Shades, Gingrich gets tired and angry. Those are two things that they should keep in mind, because that's when we're going to see the real non-historian, non-professor, non-futurist, non-grandfather, big, spoiled baby brat that he is. Lots to get to on the program today. 800-876-4123. Mitt Romney's $10,000 bet has both Republicans and Democrats crying foul. Hey, here's something. U.S. port of entry, United States and Mexico, they want people to come across the border on the honor system. That's a doozy. Oh, did you see Obama today with the Iraqi, what's that tool's title? The president or the prime minister or something? Hey, look, if I can forget his name, if Rick Perry can forget there's 9 members of the Supreme Court. But I was looking at Obama standing there with the Iraqi head muckety-muck, and I'm looking at that Iraqi tool, and I'm thinking, now where are my shoes? Tim Tebow, he's in the news. Obama on 60 Minutes saying he didn't overpromise. Oh, really? We got debate post-mortem and a whole lot to get to besides your calls. 800-876-4123. I'm Jerry Doyle. Join me.
The Jerry Doyle Show.